What is up, guys? Top Tier Yu-Gi-Oh here, and who do we have today, and what'd you do?
Ryan McGee, and I got I got fourth place with Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatika.
At the Richmond Regional. Congrats, man.
I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, it was a day, I'm telling you, man.
I know it was.
This deck right here is fire. People weren't expecting it, so.
You were waxing people today.
Oh, yeah. So let's get right into it, though. So for starters, of course, you got to run Alistair if you're going to play Invoke. And this guy was so much, he was just Ash bait, Effect Veiler bait all day. So people think like, okay, this is the only thing that he has. No, this is like not even half. So
exactly.
When they start seeing these, I play a high Shaddoll count. So I play two Hedgehog, 2 Windy, 2 Squamata, 1 Aerial, busted to get rid of my opponent's grave, 1 Dragon, of course the pop stuff, 1 Beast, just to draw effect. Most of the time when I brought out Beast, I was bringing it off of Winnie's effect. Very seldomly did I actually send it to the grave off of like Shaddoll Fusion. I always wanted to get the +2 and discard 1.
Oh, so Wendy sets it face down, so then you would use the trap to flip it, and then...
No, I don't even use the trap. No, I don't use a flat trap. But most of the time, so turn 1, if I want a die roll, I was making either Mechaba, and then I also make a Winda on my turn. And then I would, most of the time, if I discard Squamata, I would send Windy to allow me to special summon Beast face down. And then my opponents there are worried about trying to get over Winda.
Exactly.
And I still have Mechaba, so they have their hands full. So most of the time, they can't get rid of Beast. So I made them waste their resources, and then I get more resources on my turn.
Exactly. On top of that, it's just too much.
It's too much. It's too much advantage. And then a very small Dogmatika engine. I just run the 1 Ecclesia and the 1 Fleur de Lis. Really, this helped me OTK so many times. I would do my full combo, like if I was going second, and then bring this out after I've already done all my special summons, and this allows me to push for game, because this is 5,000 additional damage.
On its own.
Yeah, on its own. So this was busted today, just those 2. And probably the MVP of the day, other than Winda, was this package here. It was the 3 Edge and Chain and 3 Frightfur Patchwork.
Oh, wow. 3 and 3.
3 and 3. This allowed me to be able to get into polymerization, to be able to go into Guardian Chimera. And then in some cases, if my hand was bad, I would Frightfur Patchwork, get Poly, and then use Edge and Chain and one of my Shaddoll monsters to make Winda on turn 1. So this package right here is so busted. It allows me to keep resources because, of course, when Edge Jumps goes to the grave, I get Frightfur, and then Frightfur allows me to get Poly and another Edge Jump Chain. So
it's a +1 just every turn.
Yeah,
you can use it with all the engines too, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's busted, I'm telling you. And this right here, people sup on this. Meltdown. Yeah, it gets Alistair, big deal. But Meltdown, the effect for them not to be able to respond when a fusion monster hits the field, so I can activate all my effects. And then if I super poly their monsters away, they can't activate any of their effects.
Oh,
because
exactly.
They get blocked because of this effect. So Meltdown was just, if I had this on field, I just felt confident. You know, the only thing that I was scared of would be Ash, but I didn't get Ash on Shaddoll Fusion all day. So they would get punished because I would activate Meltdown, Shaddoll Fusion, and it's just free, so free. So Shaddoll Fusion got there too. That allowed me to get my engine started, get Construct out, App Cologne, whatever I needed at that point in time. So
it just does so much. Like if it resolves, you just kind of win.
Yeah, exactly. It was just busted. So many resources that you get. In Super Poly, this would have to be also the MVP of the day. Most of the time, if I played Despia, I would just Super Poly their whole field away, and then it was just OTK. So with my Invoke engine and Dogmatika package, Shaddoll package, it was just, all right, Super Poly, get your Despia, your Mirror Jade off the field, and then bring out Guardian Chimera, and then Guardian Chimera, proceeds to pop whatever else they got, and it was just, yeah, they couldn't recover from that.
Incredible card.
Yep. Mirror Jade never resolved on me today to destroy my monsters at the end phase because my opponents never got an end phase.
Not a single time?
No, not a single time.
Nice.
Mirror Jade never resolved to
That's
blow
how
my.
you do it.
Yep. And of course, in the Dear Servant, this is busted because it allows me to be able to, after I do my combo on turn 1, allows me to be able to send App Cologne to be able to get Shaddoll Schism from my deck to hand. Or depending on how my hand is, I might add a Shaddoll monster to be able to El Shaddoll. I actually did that one time today. I added El Shaddoll. So on my opponent's turn, I had set the El Shaddoll, and I was able to go into Winda on my opponent's turn with El Shaddoll because I hard drew Schism. So they had to get over 2 Winda at that point. So that was just impossible.
Can't deal with that.
Yeah. And of course, the 2 Invocation. This was busted to allow me to be able to go into Mechaba and my other Invoke monsters. And then the Recursion effect, of course, to recycle this back to the deck to get Alistair from my banish. Terraforming, you know, of course, Search Meltdown. El Shaddoll Fusion was great today.
Just one?
Yep, just one. Because I can send it off a construct. So
you just need that one.
I just need that one, and it allows me to interact on my opponent's turn to bring out another Shaddoll, most of the time a Winda. One Harpies, this got me there a couple games on certain matchups. This allowed me to be able to basically wipe my opponent's back row and proceed to, like, it was actually against one Despia player. He had two set, one was Brandon in red and one was the other trap. I can't remember the name, but basically, and he had, what's the other card? Branded Loss. He had Branded Loss on the field. So he had all of the resources, and I activated this, and then he was forced to chain and activate his Brandon red, and then after that resolve, I just super polyed him and OTK'd him from there. Called by the Grave. I didn't really see this much, but, you know, of course it's at one. But when I did see it, it was, you know, I felt comfortable. It's so much utility, allows me to be able to send a Shaddoll to, like, Headshot to add, Windy to special summon, you know, so Fusion, Fool's Barrier got in there. Shaddoll Incarnation, this card is busted because what this allows me to do is recycle my Shaddoll monsters. So, for example, if I have a construct in the grave or a Winda, I can activate this card, special summon that. If it's a construct, and still activates the effect to send one from deck to grave, because construct does not say fusion summon to activate its effect, it just says when it's summoned. And then it was a couple times where I activated this to bring out Winda after my opponent already dealt with it. So it's like, hey, yeah, you dealt with Winda, now it's back again. So at that point, you know, they just ran out of resources and couldn't get rid of Winda. And then, of course, Schism, another MVP. This card is so good. And the effect to be able to send whatever monster I bring out, I can send the same attribute from my opponent's field. So there was actually one time where I sent off, I think it was Despian, I can't remember his name, Quartus, but it was a light Despian fusion monster. It allowed me to be able to send this, and I had Meltdown on the field, so they couldn't respond. So it was busted. And we move over into the extra deck. I think I use every monster in my extra deck except for one, and I'll get into it. But we run this chick, I don't even know her name. She is just fodder. Artemis, yeah, she's a light monster, basically, so I can link off for Alistair and be able to get my vote engine started to bring out Mechaba. She literally does nothing except for allow me to get a light monster target to get Alistair, to activate Invocation for Alistair. We ran one Gravity Controller. On certain hands, I could basically activate Shaddoll Fusion, and I would before I activate Invocation, I would use a Shaddoll monster in my hand, and I would use Artemis, and then I would go into Construct, special summon in the extra monster zone. And when Construct comes out, I would send Shaddoll Schism, and then after that resolves, I would then send Construct to the grave with Gravity Controller, and be able to get Schism back.
So pretty much like searching it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an easy way to, you know, certain hands you have to have the interaction to get Schism, and Schism was, like I said, MVP. 2 Winda, I went into 2 Winda almost every game. Winda was she got in there, and I mean, it was some people that don't remember that Winda has a effect where she can't be destroyed by card effects. So it was a few times where they tried to destroy Winda with a card effect. I'm like, yeah, you can't be. Yeah, I'm like, so I would literally, they would activate it. I was like, okay, that's fine. They're like, it's destroyed. I'm like, it can't be destroyed by. so literally, it was just busted. Then 2 App Cologne. This allowed me to get in there for Winda. I'm sorry, for Schism. So basically, you know, with Nadir Servants in this to be able to get Schism. There's a few times where I use this other effect when it hits the field to negate a face-up card that came in the
People forget about that effect, but
yeah,
it's pretty solid.
It's pretty good, yeah. And the fact that it allows you to add a Shaddoll card from grave or from deck to hand and then discard one. So, busted. 2 Construct. Construct pretty much allows me to get over any monster because of its non-targeting destruction effect when it attacks. And then, like I said, it allows me to be able to send Schism to the grave and recycle it, or send my Shaddoll Incarnation to the grave. This is the only monster, Kaliga, Invoke Kaliga. This is the only monster that I did not go into the whole tournament. I used my whole entire extra deck except for this. In theory, this card is good because it allows 1 monster effect and 1 attack per turn, but I just felt much more confident bringing out Mechaba, so I never wanted to really go into this, but I figured I would leave it in there for just, you know, those certain circumstances where it might come up. And then Aguades, this card right here, this is what allows me to push for game. So when he hits the field, he allows you to be able to destroy a special summon monster, and then he also has an effect if my opponent tries to special summon a monster when they hit the field, I can activate this effect again, and it's only once per turn, but I can destroy their monsters. And the second effect, to banish a fusion monster from my graveyard to gain its attack. So that's,
just so much damage.
So much damage. So if Construct's in the grave, that's 2,800 attack, and puts this guy at
5,000.
yeah, basically 5,000, 58, and it's just too much to deal with. And then Mechaba, this was just the negate and banish effect of Mecha is what makes it good. So if this were only negate and destroy, send the grave, it wouldn't be as good. But the fact that it negates and banishes, that's a big deal. This guy came up a couple times, Starving Venom.
Super Poly?
It's Super Poly, and his effect to gain attack, this is what allows me to OTK as well. And like I said, I can just Super Poly off my opponent's board and then be able to push for game. Guardian Chimera, I'm telling you, Guardian Chimera, he was also MVP. I summoned this card so much today, it was ridiculous. And the advantage that I would get, I would either pop 2 if I had 2 monsters on the field, or I would draw 2. So the resources that I gained and what I got rid of from my opponent, it just allowed me to get in there. So that's it for the extra deck. And side deck is there's a few cards that put in work. The main one against my my only adventure matchup that I played. This was pure adventure. I did play some other adventure matchups that were not pure, but pure adventure. Token Collector got me there on game 3. If it wasn't for Token Collector, I probably wouldn't have won that match. But I literally special summoned Token Collector, and I just sat until I got resources for about 3 or 4 turns. My opponent could not get rid of it.
Just can't play.
He just could not play. And actually, that reminds me of another card that came in clutch, 3 anti-spell. This is clutch against Despia, it's clutch against Adventure. It's just, and the way my deck is set up, if I go first, I'm going to kill you on my second turn. So anti-spell allows them to, they have to set everything before they can activate it, and then on my turn they don't get another turn.
But since you have so many spells, like how do you play through it too?
So there was a few times where it kind of bottlenecked me a little bit, but being able to establish my board first and to hinder my opponent's board with the monsters I already have on field, I was still able to, I had to in some cases set my spells to activate on a further turn, but I had enough monster presence and the gates on board with like Mechaba or Winda to be able to continue to play. One missing line, this did not come up, I didn't draw it, but in theory it was a good card. Regeki is also the same. It's good to good go second card, so this is what I would put in if I'm going second against Despia or any other combo deck. 3 Dark Ruler No More. This did not come up either, but like I say, in theory, I want to be able to get rid of any established board. And then 3 Twin Twister. This actually came up because I played against the Conjuring of the Old Man, I believe. It's a burn deck.
Wow.
And that deck scared me, honestly. Like, that deck scared me. Game 1, I luckily won because he drew terrible. Game 2, he like set up this field and he was like gaining life points and burning me like every turn. I was like, what is this? But Twin Twister and also anti-spell helped me win that matchup. So
you were ready. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was ready. So, but overall, I mean, I felt comfortable in every match I played, and the deck is just fun. It can do so much. It has so much interaction, and Winda's a card, right? So,
exactly.
So.
Congratulations, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Do you have any shout outs or anything?
Shout out to my family. My son's here. He actually played in the tournament too. He played Sky Striker. My wife and my boy Justin for coming as well. And then our local card shop, White Dragon. So
where are you guys from?
We're from Rocky Mount.
Okay, all
right. Yep. So
you guys put in work.
We put in work today. Yes, sir.
Congratulations, man.
All right. Thanks for having me.